Hey, Resilience Ninjas, how are you doing? I was booked to speak in California, my first international booking. And I was flown halfway over the world and I put up in this beautiful hotel. I've never been to California before, on the beach with surf and shark warnings in this amazing place. And I suddenly just completely freaked out. I think it was a mixture of jet lag and also just how beautiful everything was. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I can't do this. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm speaking to creative entrepreneurs. What do I know about that? The fact that I was a creative entrepreneur missed me, totally went over my head. I was like, I can't do it. What am I going to say to these people? I can't do it. It's wrong. And just as I'm having this kind of like breakdown, I'm standing on the balcony looking at the sea, and the host who's booked me and flown me across, he comes out and he says, "Oh, hey, Jazz." And I say, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I'm glad you're here. You've made an awful mistake. I can't do this. I have nothing to share. I have nothing of value. This is wrong. We need to sort this out. I can't go on." And he smiled and he said, "You've got imposter syndrome." And without a hint of irony, I replied to him, "It's not a syndrome if you are actually an imposter." But he carried on smiling and said, "Yeah, imposter syndrome." And then he went back in. And I'm like, I came back into the apartment. Literally, my heart was pounding out of my chest. I was panicking like mad. And I honestly, I saw this thing when I was a kid about spontaneous combustion. At the back of my mind, I'm like, could I spontaneously combust? So I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to calm down. So I had to do something drastic. And what I decided to do was I just told the guy who booked me that he's made a bad mistake and that I'm not worth the investment. That's not good business strategy. So what I need to do is what he believed about me, the value he believed, I'm just going to have to take that for now. I'm just going to have to believe that that's true. Because if he believes it, I'm just going to have to trust him and not my own thoughts and feelings. So I did that. I thought, I'll make myself a cup of tea, calm down, make myself a cup of tea. It was great for a minute. And then I thought, this is so good. I'm going to do it for 2 minutes. So I had 2 minutes, this weight off my chest, feeling like I wasn't good enough, just me being okay. And then I decided to do it for an hour and the whole afternoon, and I've never looked back. There's something about being resilient that requires you, yes, to have a purpose, because you've got to keep getting back up and going again, but also to be well, to be healthy, to forgive yourself, to have compassion towards yourself. I've never been very good at that. I've had to practice that. See, resilience isn't about being a doormat. It's not about submission. It's not about saying, oh, well, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. That's resignation. That's not resilience. That's about saying this is awful and there's nothing I can do, so I'll just sustain putting up with it, as opposed to I want to be better. And I feel like my resilience initially came from hating my parents, hating what my mum and dad had done to me, hating them and not wanting to be any part of it. And that got me moving, but it didn't keep me going. What kept me going was changing that purpose from being something, getting away from something, to going towards something. I want to be better. I want to stop the cycle. I want a better life. I want to impact people in a different way. I want to honour the people who stood with me. And that focus, alongside practicing being compassionate to myself and forgiving myself, is why I am so resilient today. Here's the last thing about resilience. One of the things that I've discovered is it's not the ability to get over something. That's part of it. It's the time between being on the floor and getting back up again, getting that as short as possible. When I was first speaking, I went to speak at the Excel, and there's like 10,000 people, and I was on stage and I killed it. It was great. And I came off stage, it was amazing. And then a few hours later, I did a workshop, and there's only 200 people in the workshop. So I do this workshop, and there's a guy in the workshop, and he's sat at the front, and he's just not, he's not having a good day. And he says at one point, it's not my job to run a school where I love the kids. I don't even have to like the kids. I just want them to learn. And I could see everyone behind him like bristling, like, oh, because obviously it's like, yeah, and what I said is yes, I completely see where you're coming from. That's important. But the way you access that, the way you get to that, you can't always assume that everyone's coming from a position of healthy love at home, so can take tough love. Because I can tell you, in my experience, that tough love without healthy love is bullying and just kind of compounds the fact that you're not good enough. Anyway, at the end of that talk, I got 199, great rave reviews, and one that said that the speaker was self-indulgent. and I know it was this guy, and I know he had his own journey and stuff, but for 2 weeks after that, I tried to cancel every gig I was part of. I succeeded. I cancelled 2. Said, I can't come. I can't come. I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm self-indulgent. What does that mean? The time it took me, 2 weeks wasted second guessing myself. I deserve better. You deserve better. So what's your promise going to be? What's your 10% braver one going to be? And mine is, this is hard. It's what I've been doing for a while. I practice that. I kick myself much less. I give myself a little bit of space, a little bit of compassion, and I forgive myself a lot quicker so that I can get over it, move forward, and smash it. Resilience is about health, forgiving yourself, and purpose. So do some thinking around why you want to be braver, what it is that you're going to get out of it in the end. And then get up there and go for it. I cannot wait to see your promise. So get cracking.